Could it be possible that Bethesda is really going to be supporting Fallout 76 forever? Welcome back, my fellow Vault Dwellers and Wasteland Wonders. We've got a lot of Fallout 76 news and updates to go over, including news about that DLC and post-launch content, plus microtransactions and new details on the in-game store, exactly how this is going to work. But yeah, remember, smack that subscribe button and turn on that bell icon, that notification icon, if you want videos daily for Fallout 76, because we're going to be covering this game extensively, believe you me. So, let's talk about this upcoming DLC support for Fallout 76. It is a live service game, they're not shy about that. So, this is a brand new interview with Pete Hines of Bethesda and Game Central, who's doing the interview and asking all the questions. And basically, they ask, what does the future of Fallout 76 look like? How long do they envision DLC support lasting? And Pete Hines responds saying, forever. Wow, that's quite the statement there. Now, he does go on to say this and follow up his comments. I'm not being ironic, like forever, because other people have said, is your timeline 2 years or 5 years? And I said, well, they're still playing Morrowind. And you go online and look at how many people are playing Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Those games have been out for 4 and 7 years. And there are literally hundreds of thousands of people playing those games every single day, every single month, end quote. P. Hines and the rest of Bethesda, are very aware of the potential here of having a very long-lasting live service with a changing world, new DLC support, and it sounds like if all things go well, they plan to support this much like, I guess you could compare it to maybe World of Warcraft and other online games, even like GTA Online. Rockstar's not going to stop supporting that game anytime soon. It keeps on bringing in the money for sure. Now, also, Pete Hines goes on to say this. So, Fallout 76, our timeline is in perpetuity. Now, what that content is going to be and what that's going to look like, I'm not too sure. Part of our thing is we need to get people in the game and see how they respond. We've even taken this approach with our past DLC. I don't know if you remember Fallout 3, the big consumer reaction when we launched that game was that they were all upset that it had an ending. And we were like, all the previous games had an ending. We thought we were sticking to what the franchise is. But they didn't want an ending, and we had a couple of DLCs in the works. But the third one we did, we were like, well, we need a DLC that removes the ending of the game and allows you to continue on. End quote. That need for basically infinite exploration, infinite rewards, is something that is part of this live service offerings from many different new games that are coming up here. And it looks like Bethesda is trying that with Fallout 76. Honestly, if I wanted something as DLC, I would love to see them support, human-controlled, well, not human-controlled, I mean NPCs. Regular NPCs that walk around, have dialogue, and stuff like that, and make the world kind of feel lived in. That's my opinion. Let me know what you make of it. I know I've gone on about that. And we have some top comments later on in the video about that subject. Remember to leave those down below. You may end up in a video soon. You never know. So yeah, let's talk about microtransactions. It's always a hot button issue, and I've always felt that Bethesda has been pretty good about this. There was, of course, some controversy related to what they did with the Creation Club, and there is, of course, still very much controversy about that, but let's dive into this. So with microtransactions, Game Central says, one question I've been asking a lot of people at Gamescom with a certain amount of glee is how the fallout from Battlefront 2 has affected them, and it has affected almost everyone, even mobile developers, to my surprise. But I imagine it's made little difference to you because Bethesda is entirely blameless when it comes to encouraging loot boxes. And Pete Hines responds saying, well, we really try, we're pretty aware of where the line is and try and sit on the right side of that line. So I'll give you an example. It's not like microtransactions have been a 4-letter word in the industry amongst certain folks for a while. We've had microtransactions in Fallout 76, but they're only cosmetic. Anything we're selling for real money, you can also buy with in-game currency that you get as a reward while you play. Now, he goes on to say also, and part of the main reason we're doing it is because we want to provide all the post-launch content that we do for free. So any DLC or new content we add is free to everybody, and we feel like we're being upfront. We're doing this in a way that makes sense. It's only cosmetic. There's no pay to win. You can earn it in-game if you don't want to buy it. If there's an outfit you want, like, yeah, you're getting rewards along the way, just use that to go buy the weapon skin or whatever the hell it is you want, end quote. Great to see personally that they really want the post-launch support to be mostly free in terms of, kind of their DLC that they're going to be releasing. That's super important to keep everyone together. It's just a way, I think, that the industry is shifting towards microtransactions for cosmetics, and then, of course, free content. So we'll see how it works out. Depends on how grindy it is to obtain any type of cosmetics through the in-game currency. That's not real world money. So that's going to be definitely a test for Bethesda going into this. We'll see how it actually works out. Now, some more comments about microtransactions here. P-Hines goes on to say, we just feel that kind of approach is on the right side of the line where folks go, yeah, I'm okay with that, and where that line is will sometimes move. But generally speaking, we feel like we have a pretty good sense. I mean, we had lunchboxes in Fallout Shelter, but nobody had an issue with it because that game wasn't really in your face about the fact there was a way to spend money, end quote. And that game, of course, was a mobile game, and that's, I think it was free to play as I recall. So, free to play games kind of act very, well, they have to act very differently from any games that actually have like a price point of $60. And that was the big mistake with Battlefront 2, is it was acting like a free-to-play game, although it was a $60 game. So the industry has really learned from the big mistakes from Battlefront 2, of course, as a whole. I mean, those mistakes are still trickling down over at EA for sure. Now, let's talk about microtransactions a little bit more and how this is going to work in the store. So, Game Central says, so both those games are going to have substantial microtransactions. I assume neither are going to have loot boxes. And Phil Hines says, Fallout 76 does not. It's just a store where you can buy cosmetics if you want. And Rage 2 right now doesn't have loot crates for sure. I don't know whether we'll have microtransactions for that or not. So basically how this is going to work in Fallout 76 is that they are going to have like a proper storefront, it sounds like. That's just right there for you to really browse all of the possibly newly added cosmetics. I don't know if this is going to work exactly like what we've seen in games like, oh god, I'm going to say it, Fortnite. I know a lot of you guys hate that word, but yeah, is it going to act like Fortnite or not? Fortnite does actually have a really neat store you can go to, but their price points, again, are based on the free-to-play model. They're actually pretty pricey at times, like $30, $40 even per outfit. Like, if you want the entire thing I'm talking about, with the glider, the axe, and the outfit, it gets pretty pricey. So they've got to be careful about how much they're going to price this. That's going to be the big issue, and fans are smart. They're going to pay attention to this stuff. They're going to be aware of also the crunch time involved with grinding for currency, for loot, whatever's required to get the item without paying for it and stuff like that. And we'll see, what happens. I'm hoping that they also offer some cool gear that's only obtainable through your long hours of playing the game and really as a reward in that manner. I imagine that they might actually do that. So I'll keep you guys up to date if they do. But yeah, time to go over your top comments. Let's do this. So, the Green Diggy says, if they have any multiplayer in Fallout 5, it would only be co-op, because why would they have two Fallout Online games draining their money by paying for way more servers and trying to make content for both games. Honestly, Fallout 5 would be single player exclusively. End quote. That's a very interesting point. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with Fallout 5, and it sounds like Bethesda is being a lot more careful with their comments about the future of Fallout from here on out. They're very vocal about single-player only titles, of course, but if this game is a smash hit, I think they might consider adding some sort of multiplayer component to Fallout 5. We'll see what happens with that, but yeah, Fallout 5 sounds like it is years and years away. So they have a lot of time to dwell on this and to think about it. But yeah, this game, Fallout 76, like you brought up, I think is going to be its own beast and really be supported by Bethesda. And then Fallout 5 will be more of an appropriate single-player game, perhaps with a little bit of a multiplayer addition. We'll see. See what happens there. Joshua Cloud says, I would be fine with a multiplayer experience in Fallout 5 if that mechanic was more like a companion system. This would be where 1 or 2 players max can serve as a companion as on your playthrough. They would not have a choice in dialogue options and would not be matchmaking, but friends only. If you are on the companion player in someone else's game and want to switch roles, just invite them to your game instead. That way you are the leader and make all the decisions based on your playstyle and are not dictated by other players doing stupid things. End quote. That's actually a really interesting idea. Having like a co-op companion in a fully fleshed out, I guess, single player experience for, Fallout 5. Let me know what you guys make of that. Would you guys like to also see something else borrowed from the Dark Souls universe and the Bloodborne universe? And that would be invasions. Like, would you like to be able to turn on PvP invasions where one player at a time, of course, can invade your world and maybe mix it up? And of course, remember, all this should be toggled off, and I strongly believe they need a Fallout title in the future, like Fallout 5, that could be played offline without the requirement of an internet connection. Okay, moving up, we have Like a Somebody, and he says, I don't know why anyone is complaining about no human NPCs. It's an RPG, and Todd said they're looking forward to us being the story, which to me takes RPG to a whole new level. I hope to hear people actually role-playing. We can converse with each other as people actually wandering the wastelands, end quote. And I think that's going to be their goal. I'm going to be sticking around players that really want to, experience the game kind of like that, We're kind of on the same page. I'm going to have characters that are kind of dedicated to taking the criminal path. I really want to do like a criminal playthrough with PvP being kind of my focus, and then a PvE type playthrough as well, and try to find like-minded players as well. Now, Florian Star says, 24 is a good size. You're in a wasteland, not the Mall of America, end quote. So what happens if the Mall of America becomes the wasteland? That's my question. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned here to Open World Games for more Fallout 76. I can't wait for October. Remember, that's when the beta will be rolled out to us. We're getting closer and closer to the release of the game. I am crossing my fingers this game is not a disaster and that it's actually really, really good. We have a really good Fallout online experience together. That would be freaking awesome. And then I'm curious to see if they would consider Skyrim or Elder Scrolls series, online. They already have Elder Scrolls Online. But guys, yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. And I will see you guys soon enough in the Wasteland. See you guys later.